All right, we are live for this week's Music Career Study Group. It's going to be an exciting session. It's going to be an exciting month. Joining me on screen here is not Chris Robley. Chris is actually here in my town recording, so he's actually out this week doing his thing, making music. But we've got Rick Barker here, and it's going to be an amazing 4-part series. We're talking turning listeners into lifelong fans. That's the overarching theme this week, is the art of building a fan base. If you're just joining us, drop in, say hi in the comments, drop a link to your music, let us know where you're watching from. This is a music career study group, so it's interactive. We want you to ask questions. We want you to participate. And I'm just going to dive right in with let Rick introduce himself. I've known Rick for years. He's one of the few people out there speaking to artists that every time I hear him speak, I learn something new and feel like Rick is on the cutting edge of what independent artists really need to be doing to move their career forward. It's not fluff. It's not just frivolous sound bites. It's real detailed information that helps you build an audience and move your career forward. So Rick, why don't you tell us a little bit about who you are and your background while people sign on and say hi in the comments.
Sure. First off, I'm just excited to be a part of this. I've been a fan of Kevin and Chris and the work that they did at CD Baby. And when they transitioned over to BandLab and to ReverbNation, and they reached out and said, hey, we're really starting to do a lot of the education pieces, I was like, how can I help? I believe in their mission. I love the fact that they're both practitioners, because there's a lot of people that are really good marketers, and they'll catch on to whatever the current catchphrases are, and they'll put up a bunch of social media stuff about it to make themselves look impressive. But these two gentlemen are actually living and breathing what it is that they're doing. They're also using the tools that are available to them. When they made the shift over to ReverbNation, I was excited because it's one of the largest platforms and is probably like the OG when it comes to where artists first were like, a lot of them had ReverbNation pages before they had actually websites, and they would use that platform in order to grow their business and start building relationships with their fans. And then as tools evolved and other platforms became available, ReverbNation was available before Instagram was available and before TikTok or Musical.ly or any of those things. So they've always been artists first. And it's great now that they are really focusing in on what they can do to help you, because I always tell people too, it's not what you know, it's what you do with what you know. So you can just spend all day trying to get things over and over and over and over and over again, but unless you actually put them to work. So the way I look at it right now is that if you're spending your time today watching this video, being a part of this live, you are already so far ahead than the rest of the artists that are out there just kind of waiting to be discovered or waiting to be seen.
Absolutely. I think, we've had many conversations over the years, and there's so much music out there, and there's so much good music out there that fans will never find. And so much of it just comes down to whether the artist is going to be intentional with their career or not, whether they're going to do the work and go after it like they say they want to, or if they're just going to, like you said, just sit around and hope for the best. But that's not how it works. That's never how it's worked.
No. And I think what happens too is there's a fine line between hobbyist and music business artist. A lot of people are expecting business results when they treat it like a hobby. And what I mean by treating it like a hobby is that there is nothing wrong with wanting to do music because you love to do music. And if you're doing music 100% for your own self-gratification, you're a hobbyist, whether someone's willing to tell you that or not, because at the end result, if you want to be a business, it's about the end user.
Yeah.
And people forget that sometimes. It's like we want them to love what it is that we do. And some of the things that I'm going to share with you over this month is kind of our own version of Oktoberfest, but on the music side with no beer. We're basically going to show you how you can have a combination of both, because ultimately you have to love what it is that you do. And I'm not asking anyone to conform to what the hottest genre is right now or anything like that. It's like, how do we tell their stories through you? And I think that's what Taylor has done better than anyone. I mean, these fans have grown up with her, and I was blessed to have been a part of her career at the beginning stages and watched this evolution of her into what she is today. And the key is that she always wanted to tell their stories with her being the storyteller. It was either her experience, someone else's experience. Maybe she watched a TV show and saw that that would be a great topic for a song, but it always resonated back to the audience, back to the fan, because ultimately, in order for you to survive, if this is what you want to do, there's going to have to be some money exchanged. And that money, unfortunately, doesn't really come from streaming right now. It's like no one has to pay to hear your music, which sucks.
Yeah,
and most businesses would go out of business if that were the case, but they're ultimately going to build and invest in the relationship that they build with you. And that's what I'm going to be working with you on over the next month. Is we're going to start, and it's going to be a progression. We're not going to jump all over the place. I do have a tendency to jump all over the place. As Kevin knows, I've been on his stage many times, and I'll see something in the comment and I'll go squirrel and I'll go off on it. So I want this to be as much about me helping you and not just me telling you what it is that I know. That's what Kevin meant when he said this was going to be very interactive. I want to be able to utilize some of you as examples and use you as the case studies to help find your true fans. So if you are going to be willing to participate, if you could go ahead and let me know that in the comments as well. That way I don't call on you and then it's Bueller. That awkward silence, I hate when that happens.
It's deafening on the internet, especially. If you are just joining us, this is the Music Careers Study Group. We're here every week, 11 a.m. Pacific time, 2 p.m. Eastern time. And we've got Rick Barker with us for the next 4 weeks, talking about turning fans, the art of building a fan base, turning listeners into lifelong fans. Today is the art of building a fan base. We're going to build off that each week. You're going to want to be here each week. If you happen to miss one, it will be available on the ReverbNation YouTube page and Facebook page. And while you're getting settled in, Rick just said, hey, if you want to be a part of this, you can just let us know. I think you said you might be doing like checking people's websites out live.
So what I want to do, and this is something I have a blast with, and I see Miles has agreed and Derek has agreed. Miles, if you'll go ahead and post the link to your website, Derek, the same exact way. I want to take you on the discovery journey. So what this journey is that if someone finds you, however it is that they find you, whether it's a social media post or maybe they heard you on Spotify and it was interesting enough for them to actually pick up the phone, go look to see who the artist was and move along. What do they discover? What story are you telling them about yourself? Because they're going to find you when you're not there. Mm-hmm. You're not present. Think about it. There's no DJs on Spotify. They don't say, hey, it's Kevin Bruner and he's in a band and they're from Portland and they've toured the world and none of that happens on Spotify. Hopefully we hear something that says, okay, this was unique and different enough to where we can go out and we want to explore and we want to be able to do more. Earl says, I'm totally open. Call on me.
Yeah.
Production, embarrass me. I don't get the reference.
I don't either, but
do you get that?
I don't either. No,
I don't. Yeah, you're speaking a different language. But Joe, if you can type the actual link so that I don't have to search it up, that would be great. And I'm looking for your website. Are you just using ReverbNation as a website? And if you are, no offense to ReverbNation, but you don't own it.
Yep.
All of you need to have a website. That's
yep,
I always consider like ReverbNation, Bands in Town, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. That's all rental property. Those are all properties that we can be kicked out of at any time. There is no squatting rights on those platforms like there are in, some. So it's basically up to us. And the other thing too is that we can control the conversation when we're at a website. So as we're talking about that, and as we're talking about websites, the one thing I want you guys to understand is that you need to know first who you are as an artist. Go ahead and write that down. Who are you as an artist? And then who is your music for? And if anyone says my music's for everyone, you're going to be kicked off the island and you will not get a rose during the ceremony. I am not for everyone. Kevin's band is not for everyone.
That's not what my mom says, Rick. My mom says,
well, yeah, and if your mom's gonna buy all of your records and all of your tickets, then your mom can think whatever she wants.
Real quick, several of you have agreed for Rick to check out your website live. We need some links in the comments, so drop a link. If you're just joining us, this is the Music Career Study Group. Like and share this video right now. Every artist needs to hear this conversation because this is such important information about moving your career forward. But, continue to say hi in the comments, to ask questions, and also drop those links because we're going to be talking about some artist websites live on the study group. And if you're willing to share, we'll bring it up and take a look.
Also, too, is if you could tell me the genre of music that you are, those of you that are here, and then those of you that are watching this on the replay, I want you to ask these questions to yourself as you're watching this back on the replay, and I want you to kind of go through the process yourself. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and I'll bring up an artist website right now. The whole idea for me with artist websites is that they need to see you, hear you, and be able to connect with you. Okay. See you, hear you, and be able to connect with you. Now, what I'm going to highly recommend, and I'll just pull this one up for you real quick, is that you have a website. And let's see here again. And I'm going to go to a window and we will. Okay. You should be able to see that. This is Jordana Bryant. Okay. So Jordana Bryant on her website, they see her. Here's a little bit about her. Now we have videos. So we can't assume that everyone's going to go through and go down the rabbit hole that we want them to go down. We can't assume that they're going to watch every video that you have on YouTube. We can't assume that they're going to listen to every song that you have. So what you want to do is highlight your best stuff right there on the first page of your website. So if you notice, at no time yet have we said, subscribe to my list, join my anything. First thing we want them to be able to do is to enjoy some music. So go ahead and take your best videos if you have them. I tell people now we hear with our eyes. So videos do really well for us. Now, they've also chosen to be here. So we don't have to give them 15-second clips or 30-second clips like we would on an Instagram page or a TikTok page. They have now said, I'm willing to go down this rabbit hole with you. So we want to make sure that we're showing them our best stuff. The way I look at it is your website, it's like Universal Studios, or Kevin just went to Disneyland. We're going to take them on the tour of what we want them to see. We're driving the tram. We're not putting them in their own car. So Jordana has 3 videos available for us to see. She also has a community. I suggest that all of you don't have to do it today. Start a community. That's what people want to be a part of. They don't want to be on a list. Matter of fact, I'm doing everything I can every day to unsubscribe from lists that I ended up on because I explore everything. So it's like, I'll remember, oh, that's right, I was interested in that when I was doing some research. Now I unsubscribe. So we want to be able to tell them what the benefits are of being a part of your community. So for Jordana, her community is called the Geordies. So what the heck is a Geordie? Here is now a 45-second video where she is explaining. So this is more chances for them to get to know you. This is more chances for them to know your personality. And it also means when they take the time to give you their personal information, they're allowing you to go one step farther in that relationship. Does everybody understand that? When all I do, and I see this all the time, that's why I bring it up, is the first thing it says is subscribe to my list. I'm like, I haven't even heard anything yet. It's like, you got me here. Now you're asking for something personal and we're not there in the relationship with. So I want us to slow down a little bit and be okay dating, if that makes sense. We don't have to score on the first date, but if we can get them down this far, they're now deciding that they're wanting to go a little bit further with you here. So when we look at the website, it says, when you join the Geordies today for free, I'll immediately send you your invite to the community and some exclusive goodies like early demos, unreleased songs, and some personal videos of my journey. Now they enter the information. Okay. Now we're going to start bragging a little bit. Here's what other people are saying. Now, I know what you're going to say because I'm also a mind reader. No, just kidding. You're going to say, but Rick, I don't have a Billboard article yet, or I don't have a Circle Country or Pop Culture or People magazine. No, but what you do have, hopefully, and if you don't, these are going to be the first things that you get, is I want you to screenshot comments from your actual fans. They make great graphics. You can screenshot it, you can crop it out, and it could say, it will show Kevin's, little thumbnail. It'll say, best band I've heard in a long time. To me, that's more valid sometimes than these. And if you doubt me on that, start watching television now. And where it used to say, Variety Magazine says best new crime show, they're now starting to use quotes from Instagram and X of actual watchers of those shows, because other things can be bullshit. Everything, you know what it's like, I can go buy the opportunity for someone to write an article about me. They could have never heard anything or know anything about me. So what the fans have to say is more important than what the industry has to say, because the industry is not going to buy a ticket to your show. The industry is not going to buy a t-shirt from you. Does everybody understand what I just said there? It's more important. Some of you are wanting validation from people that don't really matter. I want you to think about that for a second. You want people to validate? No, the fans. If you do not have the fans, I don't care how much hype you bought. I don't care how many fake followers you bought, how many streams you bought on a fake playlist. If you cannot get validation from the fans, this will never be a business.
Yeah, that's huge advice there. You mentioned like going to websites and seeing some of those things, like with startups now, especially like music tech startups. I'll go to their website, it says as seen on Forbes and this and this. I'm like, anybody can get there. Everybody seems to have that. It's like,
and everybody does. It's like, it was a big thing for a while. It was always Fox, NBC, and MSNBC, and it was crazy. So we got you.
It looks like we may have
Miles has dropped in.
Apparently, apparently YouTube removes the link when people post it in the chat. They probably do that so
that's okay, because Miles typed it out for me, which is good. So I have it now.
He went to Facebook and did it. So if you're watching on YouTube and you're having a hard time dropping your link in, you can. This is streaming live on Facebook as well, and you can drop the link in. So that's good to know that. It's probably to keep spammers from bots from just spamming our live stream with links.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
But Rick, that's great. That's great advice, because so often I talk to an artist and they're like, I just need to get this person's attention. I'm like, what you need ultimately is for people to care about your music, and the industry. Like my band was based in Atlanta, but I was living in Nashville, and I can tell you, none of the industry people when we were living there ever cared about going to shows or. Oftentimes, I wondered if they even liked music.
Well, and that's what's key, though, Kevin, is that too often we let outside influence dictate what we do. Mm-hmm. It's like we try to be too hip for the room. We try to be too cool for the room. We always try to look perfect. And that's not what the fans want. Yeah. And all I care about from the industry side is that if the industry hears your music, they go to find you, that they see that you are already set up professionally, because that's going to put you in a different conversation than other artists they're finding. I want them to see that you're posting on a consistent basis, that you're showing up to work every day, that you understand who you are, because they're not geared. And I say this respectfully because I just finished a 6-month consulting agreement with a major label trying to fix some of this. They are not equipped to take you from 0 to 80. Mm-hmm. That's on you. They're equipped to take you from 80 to 100, but they are not equipped, nor do they care to develop you from the beginning. Now, they do still develop artists, but they're developing artists from A level to B. You know what I'm saying? Is like they're not going to say, oh, here's this person that we just found that's got cool music. Let's teach them the business. Let's help them set up all the tools that they've been able to do on their own. Right now, they're looking for artists. I always say they're looking to acquire small businesses. They're not looking to start businesses, if that makes sense. Yeah. So what we'll do is let me jump back in here again. Pop me back up there, Kev. Yeah. So once you tell what other people are saying, now we can continue to go down and say, okay, now let's follow on Instagram. One of the things that I see artists do is they put their social profiles at the top of their page. And I'm like, wait a minute, we just invited them into the house. Now we're kicking them out. We've now just asked them to leave. And remember, once they leave, now the person who owns that other prop like to send people away until further down the ladder, because now I know if they've gotten here, they've probably already listened to a song. I've given them the opportunity to be a part of the community. They went and saw what other people are saying. Now go hook me up and go follow me over on Instagram. And that's the extent of the front page of the website. Everything I need right there. See you, hear you, connect with you. Now, we can have a music page and we can have a whole bunch of other pages. But right now, remember, most people are listening on this device right here, and the tabs don't show up. They show up as those 3 little, I call it the hamburger, over on the left-hand side. And if they happen to open, so we want to make sure that everything that they need to get an introduction to see if they want to go further in the relationship is on the front page of the website. Does everybody understand what I just shared there? And do we follow the logic and the thinking there? If you go ahead and give me some yeses, we'll move on to me going to hit up Miles, and we're going to go down Miles' discovery journey.
Yeah. So feel free to ask questions in the comments. We're looking at them. So if we're talking about something and you're like, hey, Rick, I've got a question about that, feel free to drop it in. This is study group. We're learning from each other. We want to hear feedback. And thanks to Miles for letting us look at his website live right here. This Miles said, yep, now I'm nervous.
But Miles, here's the thing. We don't know what we don't know. That's true. This is one of the biggest problems I find with musicians is they don't speak up out of embarrassment. But to me, it's more embarrassed to be broke with no listeners than it is to maybe embarrass yourself in front of a group, because you know what? No one in this group is laughing. Everyone in this group is taking notes. That's what this is about. This is a safe space to be yourself. And that's something I want to encourage all of you. It's like, I don't know the answers to everything, but I'm a pretty damn good researcher. I always say, I will go get you the answer. And that's how I was able to manage Taylor with 0 management experience, with 0 previous management experience. When they asked me, quick story, to be her manager, I originally said no. And the reason that I said no is I said, I don't have any management experience. And they're like, Rick, we're not hiring you because of your management experience. We're hiring you because you think different and you're not afraid to go get the answers.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, for once, not knowing was a benefit, but it was not knowing, but willing to go get the answers.
Yeah. One of I think the biggest things that's been, that's helped my career over the years is being willing to put myself in uncomfortable situations where I might be embarrassed at the end, because it takes a lot of that to like face rejection. But then that's when the victories come as well. You'll get rejection, but that's how you earn those victories.
And let me give you a phrase to ask when rejection happens. What could I have done differently?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Don't be afraid to ask that question. And if someone, because here's the thing, a lot of people are just going to BS you because they're busy and they're looking for reasons to say no. And if the person can't tell you what you should do different, they weren't the person you wanted to be with in the first place. So it's probably a good thing that they said no. So while we got Miles here, I've got Miles Morgan Music. I have the ability to hear his song down at the bottom here, Blue in Your Eyes. As I scroll, welcome and thank you for checking out Miles Morgan Music. Please sign up for my email list. This is the best way to keep up with me. I promise you, I won't. You won't be flooded with emails. Just an update every now and then. So what this is saying is, give me your email, and you're only going to hear from me when I have things to talk about me. There's a lot of me's in there. Mm-hmm. Okay. Welcome and thank you for checking out Miles Morgan Music. Hey, it's Miles. Thanks so much for checking out the website. If you like what you hear, the best way to get to know me is through my music, and I've created this cool community, and the first thing I would love to do is send you some unreleased songs. Just tell me where to send it. That's another way of saying, give me your email, but in a much different way. So everything, once again, it's about the end user. What's in it for them? Remember, Jordana, you're going to get demos. I'm going to share this with you. She used the word you a lot. Here we use the word me and I. We want to stay away from that. We want to tell them what's in it for them. All right. So as we scroll down, here's a tip jar. Okay. So now you're asking me for money. I don't know that we're there yet in the relationship. And if you are going to do this, tell me where my money's going. As an independent artist, I fund the entire operation, and everything that you donate goes to the production of the music that I can share with you. You know what I mean? It's like there's no problem asking for money. Most artists are afraid to ask for money, quite honestly. It's like they can remember lyrics, they can remember songs, they can remember everything, but when it comes time to ask for money, they can't talk all of a sudden. It gets really weird. We don't want that. So also too, want to say, I like your music, great job, or keep going. Make that larger. That was very hard for me to read right there. So this is latest track. Purchase my latest original single before it's released. Okay. We live in a world today where people don't have to purchase your music. So I don't know that I would actually do this. Purchase my latest song. Let them hear your music. You've got their attention right now. The days of teasing them with 30-second snippets, or no, it's like, I've got your attention. Let me give you my best stuff. Those are the things that I want to do. Now, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to actually sneak over and say, okay, we got here. Let me go see what this guy's all about. So now that I'm jumping in, let's see if I can get in here.
I just had the same issue trying to share the link to the live Facebook.
Yeah. Let's go here. Okay. So let me view this in so you guys can see more. Zoom in.
That might be as big as it's going to get. It doesn't seem.
Yeah, it might be. It's pretty big right now.
Yeah, it should be. Oh, there it goes. A little bit more.
Got it. Yeah. Okay.
It should be good.
Okay. So right now, what I see is musician band. Miles, what kind of music? At this point, you still haven't told me what kind of music you are. So if I'm a quick glance or a quick listen, give me something, Southern rock fused with blank, something that I can wrap my head around to see if I want to be able to continue. So utilize that in your bio space there. I like that you're sending them to your website. We like that we send them. We've got a Linktree app in there, link in there as well. So here we have 3 likes, 0 comments, 3 likes, 0 comments, 5 likes, 0 comments, 4 likes, 0 comments. But another thing that I want to share with all of you right now, and this was just, Instagram is not going to let as many people see this with this TikTok watermark on it. They do not mind if you use third-party content, but they will not advertise for a direct competitor. So they have just come out and shared this with us. They're like, hey, if you want to share from another platform, great, remove the watermark. And there are watermark removers. So utilize the content. Also, too, is if I go into this post, I'm trying to, let me just do this real quick.
We're all seeing your password, so we're going to know forever.
You won't see it. It won't show up.
You might, using password 123 isn't the best password, Rick.
Yeah, I know, right? So there's it's got my thumb, my fingerprint. So, and I just created a new Instagram page that I'm going to do my own case study and build it from 0 to what I can build.
Excellent. I look forward to seeing the results of that.
Yeah. So now what I'm wanting to see is Miles Morgan music, hashtag. So basically, you've told me nothing about why I should even turn the sound on. Now, remember, most people have the sound muted. So this is your hook. This is your story. Your offer is just to get them to hear the song. So when the chorus for your new favorite song hits on a walk and you can't stop thinking about your better half, I would put this over in the comment section too. Okay. Then also too, so there's really nothing there that inspired me to want to share it or comment on it. So the next one.
Rick, again, I have a quick question about what we just saw. And I think part of what I've seen happen, and that might be why Miles chose not to put anything but hashtags in the comments.
It's because it came from TikTok, and TikTok is a hashtag-based platform. But
well, also, I think a lot of artists wonder how, like, I follow multiple social media gurus as well, and they'll argue about what even works. And so I have a feeling that a lot of artists have been removing that stuff, thinking it only matters what's on the screen. But you're saying that we should still take, the opportunity in the actual post.
Well, here's the way Instagram is working right now. What I do is I try to stay up to date with how they reward us. So Instagram, when it first started, was very hashtag driven. Now, Miles is doing something very good with his hashtags, and I'll explain that here in a second, is that now it's more SEO driven. AI is scanning your text. So if this is a song about blah, 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 and then if Rick has shown interest in other songs about blah, 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 then they might recommend it to me. Because AI it's more of an SEO now in that search engine optimization, is because everything's AI. So AI is saying who on Instagram might like this content. So with Miles Morgan music, I highly recommend all of you have this, because when I click on it, it's about Miles Morgan. Okay. He owns this hashtag. We don't own every hashtag that's out there. What I don't like is when you put hashtag indie artist, because when I go to that, we'll just use this as an example. Let's go back here. When I go to this one and it says hashtag live music, is Miles anywhere to be found? So you just basically worked so hard to get me to your house, to your restaurant, and you sent me to your competitor across the street. So that's why I don't use hashtags anymore. I need you to stay on my house, in my house, and not leave. So I always go space, 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 and maybe put a couple down at the bottom. But other than that, you need to tell me what's going on. So if we go into Jordana Bryant, for example, I sing, I write songs, I overshare. Here's her current single. Here's how to get to it. 282,000 likes, 3,359 comments, 7,343, 604,6,400, 380. This is new that she put up. So what does this say? Tag your ex-best friend. So she's giving them a command. She's telling them to do something. Okay. I can't believe September's already over. I could see a music video out now. Having friends that sing with you. Tell me I'm not the only one. This one generated, if it says, tell me I'm not the only one, 103 comments, 110 comments, 93 comments. She's giving them a reason to comment. That's what we want to make sure that you're doing. So all of these right now, how did the Olympics change your family? Tell us a story. Tell us something. Miles, first off, let me just say thank you for being willing to share with us and give us the opportunity to take a look at that. But just remember, we have to be respectful of their time because everyone is going after it. They say right now it's like 7,000 different opportunities from this, the phone, the email, driving down the street, the people in your house, 7,000 times a day, someone's trying to get our attention. So what we want to do is be respectful of the time that they gave us and give us a reason to want to follow. The other thing I want to share here real quick, let me just go back to this one more time. Don't show this tip again. Let's go back to, is when I go to your Instagram page and I do your post, you've got 90 followers. I see that. Let's go up here real quick. Okay. So that was 16 hours ago. That was a week ago. That was 2 days before that, a week before that, a week before that, a long time before that, about a week, about a month. You see what I'm saying? Is that we have to be able, the only way we have a chance of showing up is by presenting ourselves every day. And the only way that Instagram is going to reward you, because now they've changed some things. And I spend a lot of time, by the way, focusing on Instagram, because to me, that's more of, I find that we can get music consumers faster on Instagram than we can on TikTok. TikTok right now is more people will know the song than they will the artist because it's all trend. Miles says, darn full-time job. Well, here's the cool part. And that's a very valid.
That is.
That's a very valid excuse for 1 second. Because we have enough hours. I don't care what you do when you're working. I care what you do when you're not working. And the more you know what to do when you're not working, the more you're able to take an hour a day for the customer service part of your business, an hour a day for the marketing side of your business. And if you don't have it, once again, that's okay. This is a hobby. But if you want business results, you have to treat it like a business. There are things that I teach. There are things that other people teach that can show you how to batch content. I'm going to show you some AI tricks here in a second. There's a way to get 30 days worth of content. So Miles, do me this favor. Tell me your style of music, because I never figured that out. And I didn't want to listen. I wanted to see if you could tell me. So tell me your style of music, and then I'll do someone else. This is going to be a great trick for all of you. Okay. And by the way, plagiarize me. Anything I tell you, steal it, use it, do it. So what I want to know, Miles, what style of music do you do? And also, too, is another thing that all of you can do is you can copy and paste your lyrics into Chat GPT and say, I'm looking for 5 social media posts highlighting the lyrics of this song, boom, it'll pop it right back out. Okay, so Miles has it. Acoustic-driven singer-songwriter that dabbles on the pop and rock side. Okay, let's just see this. Edit, copy. Acoustic-driven singer-songwriter that dabbles. Right now, it looks like you kind of dabble with everything. So what we're going to do is try to hone you in on something. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to go back here and we're going to go into Chat GPT and I'm going to start a new chat. And I'm basically, now all of you are going to be able, to do this for yourself. Okay. This is going to be something that you can do. Okay. So I want all of you, there's a free version. I happen to use the paid version. Mm-hmm. So let me go real quick. Go back to, go here, chatgpt.com. That's where you're going to go. Okay. Chatgpt.com. You're going to see mine says 4.0. That's because I have the paid version. But we're going to jump out of that real quick. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to say in the message, this describes my style of music. I am looking to create. Now, this is going to be more on the fan engagement side next week. I'll go real deep into this. I'm looking to create social media post for my Instagram. What type of content should I create? So we're going to start there. We're not going to overwhelm it. Okay. For your Instagram, since your style blends acoustic singer-songwriter with pop and rock elements, you can create a mix of content that highlights your musical versatility, personality, and process. Here's some ideas. Post short, intimate acoustic performances of your original song or covers focusing on raw, unplugged version. Use Instagram Live to do impromptu, behind the scenes, songwriting tips and tricks, gear and setup, pop rock mashups, storytelling post, fan engagement, pop culture tie-in. So it's going to give you a lot of different things. But what this doesn't give you right now is that you haven't really told them who your fan is. So when we can tell them who the end user is going to be, it's going to be much better. So that's just something quick. We're going to go deeper into detail next week. I'm going to take lyrics. I'm going to show you how to create social posts, a social calendar, and things like that. But the thing I want you to focus on today is this, and I will make sure that we put this link in here. So what I did is I said, what questions should I ask when developing a fan persona for music artists? Does everybody understand what a fan persona is? Okay, I'm wanting to know the personality. So here's the results that it started giving me here. And this is something that was super cool. Let me move this over. Okay. When developing a fan persona for a music artist, the goal is to understand the target audience deeply so you can effectively connect with them. Here are key questions to ask to build a comprehensive fan persona. Now, all of you should fill this out. What is the age range of the typical fan? Miles, type that in if you know the answer. What is their gender identity? Could be both. Where are they located? United States. We'll just use that for example. What's their education level? Take a guess. What is their occupation, career stage? Some of these you can use. The deeper you go, the better it's going to be to classify. The psychographics. This is one people forget. What are the fans' interests and hobbies outside of music? Are they gamers? Mm-hmm. Are they line dancers? Are they potheads? You know, what are they? You know, what is it? Because that's going to help you understand the type of content that you need to be posting to attract them. That's going to tell you the type of content that you don't necessarily have to create, that you can slap your audio on the back end of it. Because if your people, let's say you've got some really cool acoustic style music, but there's this beautiful video that you found, that you could find them everywhere online, of a car driving along and you see the sun setting, and your music fits that vibe. You just synced it, by the way. That's your first sync. You just got your first sync by syncing to this own video. Now you're able to start incorporating. If you're a heavy rock band, go find some skateboard videos. Go find some extreme sports videos. Go find some workout videos. If you're doing, family type love songs, couples walking, all that video footage is available for you and out there. That's a way to tap that in. What social causes or values are important to them? Super important right now. If you understand your audience, what you should and should not be talking about, especially over the next couple months.
Yeah.
What personalities do they exhibit? Are they outgoing? Are they introverted? Are they creative? Jordana has identified this audience of people who've really lost their friends. So she has songs like New Friends, when old friends get new friends, falling in love with your best friend. She really has tapped into that, not feeling accepted. What are their lifestyle preferences? Are they health conscious? Are they adventurous? Maybe you like to cook. Maybe you like to share recipes. I know I'm an air fryer guy. Now Instagram feeds me up recipes all the time because I watched 5 or 6 of them and I shared them with my wife.
Yep.
Now all of a sudden I can cook like a mother inside that air fryer through Instagram. I've also watched weird cop chases and stuff. So that's why I had to start also a new Instagram page, because the stuff I'm getting fed was based off research that I did. What kind of brands or other artists do they gravitate towards? So this is what I want you guys to do. This is something that it's important. And a lot of times it's funny because we don't want to be compared to anyone else, because we want you to be the first you. But in the beginning stages, think about when you meet someone, they go, "Oh, what do you do?" "Oh, I'm a musician." "Oh, cool. Who do you sound like?" They're just looking for some sort of familiarity, some kind of reference to whether they want to go deeper in this conversation with you. So what I want all of you to do is I want you to write down 1 or 2 artists that if you had the chance to open for them, you feel that your style of music and the audience that they attract would be interested in your music. So go ahead and do that. And then what I want you to do is I want you to follow those bands on Instagram, and I want you to see what kind of content they're posting that their fans are reacting to. The same way that I was scrolling over Miles, go scroll over these and say, "Oh, gets a lot of views, but no content." Maybe they didn't ask a question. Maybe there was no reason for this to happen. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to understand, when you go start doing your research, go in and follow those fans of the fans. You don't even have to follow them yet. Just click on their page, see what they're talking about. Go, okay, how can I get involved in a conversation that's already happening, instead of thinking you always have to be the one to start the conversation? So if you see that they're talking a lot about something, that you have a song that can resonate with them, then I want you to send them a message and go, "Hey, I saw you on Kevin Bruner's Instagram page. I noticed you're a fan of hot rods as well." Now, think about it. They don't get a ton of DMs, so they're going to see it. And most of them don't get a lot of people talking to them. So then if your Instagram is set up properly, they're going to go, "Wait, who's this Miles Morgan music? He keeps liking my post, asking me questions." They go click on it, and Miles says, "I'm an acoustic singer-songwriter in the style of blank." Now they're like, "Oh, I like that." Well, of course they do, because you did your research to know who the person was that you were going to reach out to. And then as the conversation starts, secret weapon, there's a little microphone button inside the DM on Instagram. hold it down and say, hey, Rick, it's Miles. Thanks so much for interacting with me. It's been a lot of fun. Just out of curiosity, are you into discovering new music artists? And then shut up. Don't hit them with 9 YouTube links. Don't hit them with anything. Just ask them, because once they come back and say, dude, I'm always looking. Awesome. Would you mind if I shared with you some of my music? No, I would love to. That's a little different than you just randomly spamming people like me and dropping your YouTube link or ReverbNation link inside my DMs. I delete those. I didn't ask for those. This person just told you. Yes, I would love to hear it. Great. What's the best email so I can send you a private link so I know that you get it?
Yeah.
They are going to give you their email. Now you just got their email. Now, if you do what I teach, then you add that email to an automation system. Hey, here's the music that you requested. Now you get them in a nurture sequence, and we're going to talk more about that in weeks 3 and 4. We're not going to skip to the 12th grade right away. But that's the stuff that I want you guys to be excited about, is once we get them into this conversation and they give us permission, now what do we do? Now, how do we nurture them along a path? And the way that we teach you how to set up that sequence is now you're going to drop them videos. You're going to now make sure that you go back and follow them, because now they're following you. Now it's time for you to follow them. I do not recommend following everyone. You only get 7,500. But those people that have gone this far in the relationship, that's where you want to go. Does this take time? Yes. Does it take time to grow any business? Yes. So this is the tools. Now it's up to you to actually use the tools. What I want you to think about as we start to wrap up this first session is I want you guys to focus on who is already in your world and stop worrying about who isn't. So Miles, I'm still using you as the example. How do you get to go know those 90 people that are following you? Go click your followers. It's going to list them. Go do some research. Go see if you can find some commonalities. You mentioned that you've got some overseas listeners. Great. Hey, Rick, where are you from, by the way? I noticed that you were following me on my Instagram page. Just curious, where are you from? Oh, great. Can I ask you a quick question? When discovering music, where do you stream your music? Oh, Miles, I stream it on Spotify. Awesome. Could I share with you a link tree where you can hear some of my music on Spotify? Oh, absolutely. Once again, not forceful, just asking simple questions. And if they come back and say, no, screw you, delete, get out, go to the next one.
Yeah.
You know?
No, this is all great advice, because just yesterday, I mean, I get artists just randomly sending me links all the time to their music, but it normally comes up in I forget what the spam folder in Instagram is called, where I have to remember to go look at it, and like, oh, all these artists sent me links, and they don't even acknowledge me as a person. They don't say, hey, I noticed that you like this kind of stuff. It's just like spam. And it's like, of course, I'm just deleting that. Why would I look at it? I didn't ask for it. You didn't show any interest in me.
What's even worse today, I got 2 of them, is somebody sends me a link or they tag me and I see they don't even follow me. So they're wanting me to take the time out of my day to watch their video, I guess, and give them feedback. And what's even worse is they don't even tell me what they want. Maybe if they even gave me an inclination of what they were looking, hey, was just curious your thoughts on this. Usually I will respond back with, what do your fans think?
Yeah.
Because I don't even know them. So I'm definitely not a fan, but it's like, once again, they're wanting to get validation from me. I'm the wrong person you should get validation from. I may not be into your style of music. If you're not looking for a 57-year-old white guy that loves Eminem and Prince and hip hop and R&B from the 2000s, I may not be your guy.
Yeah.
But I can tell you, as we get into a deeper relationship, because I help thousands of artists all over the world, and part of what I do is I listen to their music. I'm listening to see if it can compete sonically with the rest of the world, because that's who you guys are competing with, whether you want to believe it or not. How many active members on ReverbNation, Kevin?
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot. There's over the years, ReverbNation has amassed millions.
Now, so let's say you're trying to stick out on the ReverbNation page. Now add yourself to Spotify. 100 and something thousand songs a day. that are being uploaded, 800,000 of those on Fridays alone with the labels and everybody else, because they thought, hey, Fridays is a great way to stand out. Bullshit, drop it on Tuesdays.
Yeah, I know.
There's a whole nother journey about that and a whole nother conversation. But what I'm saying is that we have to do everything we can to stick out for the right reasons. And the first thing we have to think about, and I want you guys to all go down that rabbit hole that I just showed you. Click on your website, go to your links. What are people finding out about me? Am I giving them my best stuff? You know, it's like some of you will hire PR firms, or you'll solicit for one of the opportunities that ReverbNation gives you. That's how those people are going to go down that rabbit hole. So let's go clean up your house. You own it, you control it, and make sure that it's right. Because this is something Ray Daniels, a dear friend of mine, shared. And I heard it and I'm like, dude, I'm making merchandise with this. It says, most artists are praying for opportunities. They're not preparing for opportunities.
Yep.
They all want me to walk them into the label. Well, guess what? The label's going to say, what are their current streaming numbers like? How many shows did they do last year? What are their engagement numbers? You hear they're not going to ask me how many followers. They're going to ask me, what are their engagement numbers? Because all of that data is available. And these are all the things that we want to know. Derek says, should we have separate Facebook and Instagram pages than our personal pages? Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
The reason for that is because down the road, you're going to want to run ads, and I'm going to teach you guys how to do that. That's one of the things I do very, very well, is you have to have a business page in order to run ads. You can't do it from your personal.
And the personal page caps out eventually as well. You can
5,000 friends or whatever it is.
Yeah. It's like, I could have more than 5,000 friends. Come on, Facebook.
Yeah. See, if you want to see if those people are truly your friends, go do an Instagram live on your personal profile, encouraging them to come support your music, and you'll see just how many friends you don't have.
Yeah. This is all been great info, Rick. I love just what we saw on the website. Like, so many artists just aren't telling the people that land there who they are and why they should care, and inviting them into a community. And so I think just from that alone, all of us watching have plenty of cleanup work to do, dialing in that messaging and understanding like who we're actually speaking to. I think that was another important point you made, that so many artists are just trying to blast their message out like they're some pop icon, which that strategy is totally different when you are that pop icon than when you are trying to build a dedicated
Well, and if you think about it, though, any of the icons we have today, if they were starting today, they would have to do what we're teaching you.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
That's the thing is, it's like you have more tools than they had. When Taylor and I first started, we only had MySpace. We had to borrow her fiddle player's Facebook page because she was the only college student that we had access to. So we borrowed, but that's the thing I want you guys to understand, is that it's a journey. And as much as you enjoy the music making process, think about being able to witness the joy that your music actually provides for others.
Yeah.
That's what, because it's like we can make it because we love it. But when all of a sudden you're starting to get messages that I was in a very deep, dark place and your song brought me out of it, or I danced at my wedding to your song, or I proposed to my wife with your music playing in the background. I used your song, insert whatever that is here. That's the greatest fulfillment, I would think. And I don't have the talent to be you guys. That's what I always say. You guys create it. I'll show you how to find an audience and get rid of it. But I know that when, and Jelly Roll is the perfect example right now, is that here's a guy that doesn't fit the mold, who is having major impact on people's lives right now because he's speaking to them, telling their stories through his experiences. And if you would have said that a 40-year-old, 500-pound, tattoos all over his face, previous rapper would be the new male artist of the year at the CMA Awards, somebody would have probably said, will never happen. Well, it happened.
Yeah.
It happened. So any excuses that you're using, oh, where I live, the internet neutralizes that. Oh my gosh, I'm not fit. Jelly Roll neutralize that. This does the best music that gets heard at the moment it needs to be heard wins.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so if anybody have any quick questions before we bail out of here, I know we've been here an hour and we want to be respectful of your time. Miles, and thank you again for being the test subject. If anybody's got a quick question, we'll answer a couple questions, and then we'll be back here, same bat time, same bat channels. Next week, both YouTube and Facebook on the ReverbNation side.
And Kevin, I dropped the link while people are asking, thinking about a question to ask. I dropped the link. I'll drop it again to the blog post that we will each week be adding the new live stream link to. So just bookmark this and you'll have the information. So you can it be reminded. You click that reminder on YouTube and it'll remind you before we go live that it's about to happen so you don't miss it.
And then, Kevin, I'm going to send you the ChatGPT link that I did for that whole thing that you can ultimately put that in the descriptions as well. So if you guys want to go see the prompts that I was using and what I was asking it will kind of take you down that journey. I might be able to post it here, but I don't know that they can click on it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it won't, but that's okay, because what I'm going to do is right now I'm just going to text it to you, Kev, and you'll have it.
Okay, perfect. And one thing I wanted to say when you were talking about the Instagram and direct messaging and how to finding those fans, I know people might feel like, it feels like a lot of work doing it one by one, but these are the people that you're trying to build stronger connections with. And I know that artists oftentimes will do that and they'll do it once or twice and they'll give up. It's but this thing is, you got to stick with, it will compound. It'll start to build momentum. And then suddenly you post something new and 10 people are commenting.
Well, and the thing too,
and then 20 and then 30.
And then it grows.
It
grows. And the thing that we're going to do is we're going to show you both sides. We're going to show you what it takes to reach out to people, but we're also going to show you, or I'm going to show you in probably week 3 or week 4, how to put automations in place that do a lot of this as people are starting to find you. So we can't just sit around and wait for them to find us. We're not there yet, but we're going to show you how to reach out first. Another thing too, actually, that this will be a great cliffhanger. Next week, I'm going to show you how you can use Instagram, go live, bring other people up that then shares with their audience that they're live. And it's a chance for you to build lookalike audiences in real time and get your content and your music shared with them. And I'll show you how to do that next week.
All right. I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome. Now that you both are off vacation, next week we might have 2 of you here.
Yeah. Well, we'll have Chris on here as well. So both of us will be in the mix and it'll be a good time. Any homework for us, Rick?
Yeah, do an audit. I want you guys to do an audit on yourself. I want you to go to your website, go to your ReverbNation page, go wherever it is, go on that customer journey, that fan journey, to see what it is that you are telling them or not telling them about why you should be someone that they want to engage and interact with.
All right. Well, if we don't have any further questions, we can call it there. And next week we'll have even more. So if you missed part of this will be available all week long on the ReverbNation Facebook page and YouTube page. I know we'll be slicing up some of the content, so you'll see it on Rick's socials and our socials. But yeah, looking forward to this journey. Rick, thanks so much for doing this.
My pleasure. I'll see you next week.
Yeah, and we'll be back next week, and we'll catch all of you then. Take it easy.